Right. The Hard Knock Life is for all of us here on the Random Kristian Show. Welcome to the Thursday edition, and I am Kristian, and this is our graphics right here. Got Dr. Evil. Yeah, that's right. He's busting a move and gonna pop a cap in your ass.
I'm a crazy. You all knew that. Austin caught me in the first act. It's all backwards. What's with that? So I'll make a prophecy from the dogs to the mini-me. Give me an Escalade, a two-way bling-bling on eBay. Domino.
And it's the edited vision and division version. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that's right, homie.
For all my homies and brews.
Yeah, what's up? Twerk it out, baby. Yeah. All right. And, well, you know. The video's awesome. You gotta admit. So
why not?
it's just a little theme with what we're doing today, which is talking about anti-heroes and villains, and are they really getting a fair break? And are they really evil?
That's all. For shizzle my nizzle, y'all.
Yo, for shizzle, right? And when we talk about evil and we talk about villainy, I mean, of course, you think about, all right, Dr. Evil. Yeah, because he's evil, right? The epitome. Didn't go to 10 years of frickin' Dr. Evil school just to be known as Mr. Nice Guy. And hippies use the back door. That's right. Only the evil ones in the front door. And speaking of evil, allow me to introduce evil henchman number one, who I like to call number one. Here he is, Matthew.
And just don't call me number two.
Number one. What's up?
That's right. Not a lot.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Quite well.
It's quite the evil Dr. Thursday. Yeah. Thursday.
And I don't know about you, but we're having quite the rainy Thursday.
Ah, yes.
We've already got, since midnight, we've gotten 3 inches of rain.
Wow.
Which, I mean, some people might go, that's nothing. But here, 1 inch in 24 hours is a good rain. So right. 3 is like, holy heck.
Well, yeah. And you guys need all the rain you can get out there because the old, what's it called?
Drought.
Drought.
They call it a drought.
I am just not scoring well at all today right now. I'm telling you. I need my coffee.
You're not firing on all cylinders, are you?
No. Lyle is back. I don't know if anybody really remembers Lyle because he's been so in and out, drunken stupors and production fails. But Lyle is back. He's in the production board, and yeah, that's all. We're phasing him slowly back in. So anyway, Lyle's getting me some coffee now, and because we got a team, I got a crew going on now, and we're just we're just gonna leave it as I got a crew.
Unpaid interns.
Yeah, there we go. Unpaid interns. I'm digging it. So anyway, the theme of the day again, villains and anti-heroes, which now, Matt, I know we were discussing some stuff pre-show here, and you looked up the term anti-hero because we were having a little discussion on it, and we'll bring that into the whole plot here. But what did you find out about the anti-hero?
Well, according to Webster's dictionary, according to my favorite place to look, I'm not firing on all cylinders either. Wikipedia here, a protagonist whose characteristics include the following: imperfections that separate them from typically heroic characters, and i.e., selfishness, ignorance, bigotry, etc. Lack of positive qualities such as courage, physical prowess, and fortitude, and generally feel helpless in a world over which they have no control. So any of us could be an anti-hero if we just tried a little bit.
Yeah.
And it says
I'm pretty
other things
lazy,
too,
so
but you can look it up on Wikipedia. Which so that reminds me of something.
Yeah.
Like reading stuff off of Wikipedia. Like I have a list. I have a bright phone there. Of from a Wikipedia list of anti-heroes and stuff from literature, film, and everything. But it feels like, you know who Bob Odenkirk is?
I know the name. Why do I know?
He's a comedy writer. He's has some acting.
Yeah.
And he's a really funny guy. But it reminds me of a bit he did years and years ago where he had come out on stage and he'd reach into his pocket and pull out a piece of gum and pop some bubble gum in his mouth, and then it was Bazooka Joe bubble gum. So he'd look at the joke and then go shove that in his pocket, and then tell you a story about a childhood friend of his who actually was just the Bazooka Joe comic, but he tried to claim it was from his life, and he kept doing it and kept doing it. And that's what I feel like sometimes reading off of Wikipedia is like
that you're Bazooka Joe.
That's my premise is I know everything, but really I read everything off of Wikipedia. So I'm trying to get centered in my camera and it's driving me nuts. But anyway, I have this list off of Wikipedia that I'm more than happy to share with everybody today.
Yeah, well, there we go. A wealth of knowledge, and we'll say nothing about the Wikipedia. All right, so there you go. You're just big brain Matt. That's all there is.
No, wiki. I'm a wiki genius. I can look up stuff on Wikipedia like nobody's business.
Wiki.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, that sounded really, really white.
Yeah, you can't help it though. So.
I am milquetoast white, pretty much. So, and if Mr. Melia, if you are watching, something's gone wrong with our chat. I'm not sure what's going on, and I hate to hit refresh the page because I don't know what that would do technically, and that would be bad if we lost the whole show. So, just gonna have to. I don't know why it's not showing our chat. It's really
maybe because you have something else up on the.
No, that shouldn't have any effect.
So you can't. I see his chat. He said hello.
Oh, well, Mr. Amelia, I hope there's not too much glare for you. All right, Matt, so you get to read the captions then, or the chats.
Tim says hello.
Good. Now get back to work, you lazy bastard.
My brother says, try reading this ...
I got your chat ready.
Some kind of thread or something.
Yeah. So, as you are now our wiki wealth of knowledge, and man, I'm really bummed out I can't read the chat.
What'd you do?
I don't know. It just says chat restream IO took too long to respond. You think it's okay if I hit the refresh button? I don't know.
Oh, you're the lazy one, Tim says. I think he's talking to you. Not me.
Yeah, well, Tim, you're a bastard. No,
but I don't know
Tim's
Tim.
A great guy.
But he's being lazy because he spelled your Y-O-U-R and not Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. So thought he'd save some time by hassling you because you couldn't read it. But that's right, Tim. I'm going to rat you out. And then my brother says, I double dog dare you to hit that refresh. Ooh. And then stick your tongue on the pole.
Oh. And right now it is 27 degrees outside. So if I did do that, I'd have to make sure I have some water with me because it'd be all in the stuck on the damn pole.
Let's say, oh, geez, it's
Which,
the
if you work in a
cops.
strip club, had a totally different meaning. But we won't get into that right now. Dude, this is really bumming me out. Should I hit it?
Hit refresh. Just try it, dude.
All right, I'm doing it.
And if it all crashes down, we just start all over again. We'll pretend like this never happened. This was a dream.
All right, if you're watching, hang tight. Reload site changes you made may not be saved. I'm doing it. Reload.
Go for it, man. Go for it. It says I'm on air all by myself. Holy cow. I am the show. And then, it switched sides. Now you're over there.
Whoa.
Weird, dude.
Oh, that is stony.
So am I in charge now? Look at me. No, it still won't let me click there.
Okay, well, let's see.
Can you see the...
There's our chat right there. So, yay, it worked. So I guess from now on, I need to remember to refresh the screen before because I just leave this all fired up all the time and just go back in. So, hey, yep, everybody's signing back in again. So thank you so much for putting up with my refreshing of the screen. And here is my coffee. I love coffee. It's hot and delicious. I know you are, but what am I? Well made. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Your services will be tendered, and you can keep employed for another day.
Yeah.
Now,
Cold nose.
off you go.
Okay.
And excellent work. Do what you need to do. I'll most likely kill you in the morning.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
What's that?
And that's how you keep them in unpaid interns, so they don't ask for money.
That's right.
Shoot them out the airlock.
What movie was that from? Oh, hey, Paul, what movie was that from, Mr. Know-It-All? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not saying much now, is he? So, okay. Well, and speaking of anti-heroes and villains, right there in the print, was the Dread Pirate Roberts actually an anti-hero?
I'd say yes.
According to your definition earlier, I'd say he fits right into the anti. And you know what? Pirates really anti-heroes.
Some of them, sure.
I mean,
some of them are just evil. I mean, come on.
Well, there was some that. I mean, yeah, villains in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I mean, most pirates. I mean, that was their livelihood. They stole, pillaged, and raped, which, at some point in my life wasn't too bad of an option. If I could have been able to do that, but I didn't. Never. Well, no, I didn't. But hey, just real quick, also want to say thanks to, where is it? I'm going the wrong way. Free range chicken poop lip balm. That's right. Put it on your lips. There you go. Awesome stuff out of Wichita, Kansas, and maybe hopefully they'll sponsor us. That would be cool. And if you are watching the show, make sure you like it on the Facebook or the YouTube or even the LinkedIn there. We're on LinkedIn now. We're moving up. And so all you business people that are watching on LinkedIn, welcome to the show. We're talking about evils, or see, I keep throwing evil in, but I don't think all villains and antiheroes were evil. Okay, now because and this is in
well, I don't think anti-heroes aren't evil. I mean, because ultimately, they're heroes. I mean, but they're flawed. Right.
And they have basically they take any means necessary to get a good end result.
Right.
right? I mean,
The ends justify the means with an
yeah,
anti-hero,
right. And
such as
you know,
Batman.
now Batman, I don't think he was really an
Well,
anti-hero.
not like the '60s Batman, but like the Dark Knight Batman.
Yeah,
Like once, who was it? My brother will correct me, I'm sure, but like, was it Frank Miller that did
yeah,
that
The
did
Dark Knight.
did the dark take on Batman? And those Batmans, I think that would fit the definition.
Uh, um, yeah, okay. In a way, I guess. Oh, Carter. Who's that? Oh, Joe C. What's up, B? Hey, Scar from Lion King. Now he's a villain. That's straight up villainy right there, because he had no good intent in anything. As
But that
to,
goes with, but you said villains also, anti-heroes and villains.
right. I'm just
So
because we were just talking about anti-heroes and yeah. So good point though, Joe. I like it. Scar from Lion King was a definite villain, and he was when I saw Lion King, he kind of creeped me out a little because he was
I've never seen
so
Lion King. Never.
what?
No,
You,
no, never have. And
but he came back to the hyenas, Joe.
so a hero just depends on your point of view.
Well, and see,
Does
now
that
that
mean
was
Darth
the other
Vader
thing.
could be an anti-hero?
Okay, and that's what I was going to bring up is are villains all necessarily evil? Because in their eyes, they're actually doing the right thing. Just like I was about to say about pirates, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's their way of life. It's their means to survival. Rape, pillage, and steal. That's all they know. I mean, what if you grew up pirate baby into pirate boy into pirate teenager, and it's like, what have you done lately, boy?
Your pirate
Um,
mitzvah when you
I
turn 13?
pirate mitzvah. Ah, yes, and
Pie mitzvah?
you get your own parrot when you're 13, and a stump of wood to whittle into a peg leg.
Yeah, because one day you may need it.
And left and right eye patches, because you never know when you're going to actually need a left or right eye patch.
or you might just be Ralph Wiggum, and the doctor says both my eyes are leaking.
I taste colors. Oh, yeah.
And I love Ralphie.
Yeah, Ralph.
He's probably my favorite character on Simpsons.
Oh, that kid.
Which are, so people are saying that Homer Simpson is a anti-hero.
Why would I be an anti-hero? I'm too lazy. Unless there's beer and donuts involved, then I'm all in. No. All right. Well, what about Krusty the Clown?
Speaking
Make
of
me an
Krusty,
awesome
my
anti-hero.
wife says my hair's starting to look like Krusty.
You are getting a little, showering, Matt. Shower. That's what it's all
I
about.
do shower.
Oh.
My hair just is.
You are starting to get a little poofy there on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now does that Huck Finn and see, your brother went right along the same lines we were talking about pre-show here, which was Huck Finn and Han Solo. Yes. Okay.
I don't know if he equals Han Solo, but
No, yeah. I think he just means either or. It's like coffee talk, darling. All right. Huck Finn, Han Solo. Were they anti-heroes? Discuss. Oh, I'm getting verklempt.
Well, I was reading to you the other day, like when we were talking about this yesterday, that Huck Finn is considered like one of the first American literature anti-heroes.
Okay.
Because he I just switched back. That was weird.
I can do that. I just figured that out.
And I prefer to be on this side, honestly.
Hmm.
I would say I would agree with Huck Finn being an anti-hero for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, and now, excuse me, the coffee's really good. You said now he was considered the first literary
American. Yeah.
literary anti-hero,
Yeah.
which, you know, yeah, tricking people into doing his work for him. That's kind of anti. I mean, that's, you know, it's deceitful, but yet still achieves.
No, that's Tom
good-
Sawyer that tricked him into that. Huckleberry Finn was just he.
No, that's how he met Huck Finn. Tom Sawyer got tricked into whitewashing the fence from Huck Finn.
No, Tom Sawyer tricked him into it.
He tricked Huck Finn into it? Wow.
Well, I don't know about. I have to go back and reread those.
Well, yeah. There we go.
Bit. But I do know that Huck Finn took a little trip down the Mississippi, and
well, and
in order to save a slave, that even though he felt, I don't know, really, like probably felt pretty ambiguous, like about the whole thing. Like,
oh, ambiguous.
You grew up in a society and things are one way, but
right.
But this guy is, you know, wrongly accused of something.
Right.
And whatnot.
And he did what he felt was right, which was, you know, saving that guy from getting lynched.
Yeah. So, I mean, and Han Solo, I mean, that's just, of course, Han Solo's the,
yeah,
you know, anti-hero, because he is a pirate and a smuggler.
Right. But a good pirate.
A good pirate. One of the good ones.
Yeah, there's no good pirates. They're all rat bastards. Okay. So, but now and then we can also go like, you know, we were using a lot of the Marvel references and things like that. Now, see, like, okay, the Joker, I think, you know, maybe in a way, in his own demented world, he's actually doing good.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. It all depends on your point of view.
Right. I'm using the Joker because he's like, everybody knows about the Joker. I mean, at this point, you know, they've seen either the movie or the Batman movies or whatever. But yeah, in his own demented way. I mean, what was it? The Dark Knight Returns that had Heath Ledger as the Joker. Right. And he felt that he was all the bad things that he did was justified because he was, well, one, he was greedy and he was trying to get control of all the gangs and their money and whatnot. But, you know, when he was doing these bad things, he figured he was going to take over and help everybody out. Kind of like Bane did also. I'm using a lot of Batman references, but you know, Bane felt that he had to rid the world of the modern laws, really, and establish his own to protect all the people that he thought was good people, you know, which were the bad, evil, incarcerated people, and you know, I mean. I'm thinking it's
all perspective.
It's yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Oh my god! Wow, I need more coffee. So, but now you get guys like Deadpool. Okay. What's this say here? Paul's saying just because you root for a villain doesn't make them anti-hero. Wow.
But to their minions and their friends and everything, they are the hero. I mean, they're you know, once again, it's all about perspective. I mean, but I mean,
yeah, no, it's and like Joe was saying earlier, Scar from the Lion King, he gave back to the hyenas, so he was helping support people in a way, but they were people that were doing bad for him. So I don't know. Yeah, it kind of goes there, and. speaking of evil, look who appears when you say his name 3 times. It's Brian!
Brian!
Hey, Brian.
Talk
I'm
about
here.
your anti-heroes.
Oh
He
man, yeah.
is. You are an anti-hero. Anti-super genius hero. So, yeah, I know I keep evolving into a Dr. Evil. And I did it all last show, too. It was horrible.
Devolve.
It's evil. Evil! The kids in the hall. Okay, so we are talking anti-heroes and villains, and we've already been through discussion of whether pirates were really anti-heroes or villains, which and then to their minions and followers, they are heroes. Well, this is true, Paul. You are correct. And what about the rest of the world that doesn't like them and doesn't like being stole and raped and pillaged? And looted. Because looting is different than stole. I did say that. Wow. By the way, Brian, I've barely had any coffee since this morning. So, little loopy after 4 hours of sleep.
And by a little, he means a lot.
Well, to the point of what Paul's saying, and I certainly appreciate the perspective of saying, hey, that's my guy, that's my hero, that kind of thing. But the problem you have is that, there have to be some absolutes in life where somebody actually is a villain and somebody actually is, that kind of thing. I mean, the dichotomy, like let's say for a pirate ripping off somebody's cargo, I mean, are they any worse than perhaps the people's whose cargo is actually stolen from somebody else? We could debate that one, but ultimately they're stealing somebody else's goods and services. And that's kind of one of those absolute things where I'd be like, okay, I think we probably need to call that not good. I mean, so.
Right. Okay. And bam, just like that, Ryan's back. Okay. So now on that note also, okay. So, okay. The ends is justifying the means, right?
Right.
And now what if they're stealing from big major corporations like, you tap into a cable line and don't tell anybody. Is that, they're making millions and billions of dollars off their cable and internet fees. And you're like, hey, what's one guy ripping them off? Pirating a movie off the internet. Is that really?
Yeah, but you're not. So those are selfish acts, though. You're doing it for yourself.
Are they selfish, or are you just trying to make your way back into this and get your little edge off of
no? I'm just saying that there's a level of
there's a sticking it to the man level, is what I'm saying.
Right, but for what reason? Just because you don't want to pay, or are you taking that stolen cable and then sharing it with your community? Like everybody in my apartment block now has free cable thanks to me because I stuck it to the man.
Yeah.
So I've got a story for you. So when I lived in Brazil, I met this guy, he's a young man. And he had kind of lived in one of those literally one of those shanty places. His house literally was dirt floor, 4 walls, and that was it. And they didn't have electricity or anything like that. And so the people would go in and tap into, the power line that was going overhead. And, the city and the county or anything like that were not, they had no intention of ever coming there and offering to wire up power to them. It was unlikely those guys would have paid their bills anyway. And so I kind of thought, well, that's kind of a weird one because, here we are living in the modern world and, these guys don't even have running water or electricity. And they're literally in the middle or the side of a huge city with 6-7 million people in it. And here you've got people living a completely fourth world life, so to speak. And so I kind of was like, I mean, does it make sense? Is that okay to do? I don't know. I mean, he was a great guy, and I just remember him talking to us one day. He's like, "Hey, you guys can come start visiting me after dark because I now have power, and I got lights in the house." And I was like, "Okay," and so there's a little bit of a different kind of thing. So I can kind of see the.
But is he a hero? I mean, I'm not saying that he shouldn't do that. I'm all for it. I mean, I think that's kind of it's a really bullshit kind of thing that something so at this point in the world so basic as electricity and running water, like everybody should have that. Everybody should have access to it in one way or the other. I mean, there's got to be a better way. There should be some kind of, you should be able to set up like a co-op that, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't make a lot of money. So like, what do you do? But I don't know. I don't think that's an evil thief at all.
So here we go into a socio-economical statement of, you're saying that basically it should be like a socialist government for utilities, where everybody.
My political views are a little bit on that. I wouldn't say I'm a commie.
Yeah,
but I would not say that I'm not a Marxist or a Trotskyite, but I'm not a Leninist. Not at all, my friend.
All right, no,
so here's my thought, though. I mean, since there is almost zero true competition in the utility space, and governments are the ones that control it, they set the prices, all those kinds of things. I personally think that if that's the way it's going to be, then you need to provide it at a significantly either discounted rate or otherwise, because it's ridiculous that we've already paid for the infrastructure over and over and over again, and they never they never give relief. They never change the pricing or anything like that. Every year it goes up. But the infrastructure's already been paid for. So, I mean, a little bit of maintenance here and there, fine. I mean, when I lived in San Diego, one of the most miraculous things ever happened, and the Coronado Bridge rescinded their tolls to go across the bridge because it had been paid for, and they were no longer in need of money. So the toll booths were completely removed after a couple of years. But they were unmanned, and they didn't charge anything for a couple of years, and then they finally took them all the way out and everything like that. And I'm like, how often does that ever happen? Almost zero, almost never.
Yeah,
that's a real rare treat.
Right, I agree.
Well, and then so one of you two brought up so they have some maintenance to do. It seems like around here, our power companies don't even do a good job of maintaining. I mean, they're being blamed for some of the fires that have started out here. I mean, we've got right now, like I was telling Chris earlier, we've hit like 3 inches of rain in 12 hours, which is insane for us. And we have power outages all over the place. Like, I mean, I don't know. It seems like.
But now, PG&E really isn't. I mean, that's more. The state of California doesn't really supply them anymore, right? They're their own corporation.
Well,
so to speak. There's kind of an unholy relationship there.
Right. Yeah.
But there's still I mean, the deregulation of it all, I think there's been some co-op things set up for power, but you're still getting all your power from the grid. I mean, you're still getting it. You're still part of PG&E. Edison down in Southern California. I don't know what the name of their stuff is. And we have various other, but it's all part of one grid. And all these groups are going in and basically have an economic a little bit of economic power and say, no, this group of people, we're only paying X amount of dollars for your stuff.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, for example, when I lived in Provo, Utah, the city of Utah had, over the few years, they had built fiber to every single home, and they had an operations center that all the companies that would provide something, cable, internet, everything over the fiber, could go in there, co-locate, and then sell to all the people. And I mean, the competition was insane. You could get just incredible connectivity, and the competition was awesome. So you could get, 5, 8, 10, 15 gig service for like $20 a month. And then Google, when they were doing their Google Home stuff, they came in and they were like, yeah, we're going to do this. So for 5 gigs, it's free. 5 gigs and up to 100 were a tiered approach. And for $35, you could get 100 gig service from via fiber to your home through Google. But I mean, I was kind of a starving college student, and I took the free stuff, and it was fine for Netflix and streaming and all that stuff. Worked out great. But I mean, obviously they're a huge company. But prior to that, I mean, I had phone, internet, and cable for like $28 a month before all that.
wow.
Because the network had been paid for by the city as they had gone through the city, doing upgrades and everything like that. So it was really cool.
That's sweet. Okay. And now my wife just joined in and said that the same thing for the toll bridges and stuff happened there in Leavenworth.
That's cool.
And then now Joe, see here, he's saying, so do we get solar panels to fight the problem and boil rainwater? Well, see, then there's a trick right there too. I mean, yeah. Now my mom had sorry, I've got a glitch.
I'm all about solar.
Yeah,
personally.
and see that, and now how do we? My mom had solar panels at her house when she was in Southern California, and she actually had to sell her power back to the grid.
Yeah,
Because and then they basically it all equaled out, but she wasn't allowed to really use her power, but she had to pump it back into the grid, and then they gave her power. And so like her bill would be, $10 or something. It was ridiculous,
She generated power for the grid. They gave her credit, and then
right. And it all kind of just balances out depending on how much she put back in and how much she used, and back and forth. And it was, it's
the solar power thing.
Weirdest relationship, man. It's like I don't get it. And it happened to geothermal, which is big bucks up front, but in the end run, after I think about years, you're heating, cooling free really from the geothermal. And now I don't know. I haven't done tons of research into it. So, but I have the few things that I've read. It's because the cool air from the so will cool your house during the summer, and vice versa. The heat from the earth heats your house. I don't know, and how. I mean, I know they don't want us tapping into that because then of course, there's the big argument. If everybody does it, we're releasing all these gases from the earth. The earth is going to collapse because it's a big balloon, blah, 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 blah. It's like we're stealing power from the sun, so the sun's going to go out. No, you morons. That's not how it works. But or we're stealing the wind, so birds are going to die and won't be able to fly. And I mean, I'm not sure. And these are politicians that are telling us these things, and they pay somebody to actually research this, which I doubt they do. It's some 14-year-old kid saying, "Oh yeah, I can do it. I'm a certified, genius." And
According to Wikipedia.
Well, you know that's why straws were banned, right? Is because some 16-year-old got that one video of the turtle with a straw stuck up his nose,
right.
and that was the reason why they whatever. I mean, it's like every time I was out surfing, I didn't see straws. I saw plastic bags galore,
Right.
Toys, flip flops, all these kind of other waste, and it's like the majority of the waste was not straws.
Yeah,
because all the
straws.
turtles are snorting them, man.
Empty beer. Well, turtles got to get high.
Man,
You want to get
no,
high?
but if we could go back to the solar thing really quick, I don't understand how a state like California that has all kinds of building regulations for earthquake, when you do new construction, you have to build to a certain level. I don't know why they can't also say that you need solar panels.
Well,
But again,
mean, to help.
Yeah,
I mean, especially
you're
like
also missing. Go ahead,
if people don't want coal power, then the alternative is wind and solar. So new construction, like you can put it on top of a warehouse. Chris, where you work, I'm sure on top of that warehouse.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of unused space. They could.
Roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it up
the problem is, the problem is you've got to remember that there's still a system of whatever you want to call it, lobbying that has to come from those kinds of corporations that they have yet to figure out. Hey, how do we still make money when everybody's getting free power? How do we get our cut of the social influence money? I mean, I was having a discussion with a friend earlier today, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Berkshire Hathaway owns all the train lines that run the oil that would have gone through the Keystone Oil thing." And someone's like, no, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but if you look up Berkshire Hathaway and whatever his name is, Warren Buffett, they're in the top 110 biggest lobbyists and donators to government causes. I mean, that's pretty amazing. They're an investment firm, and they're in the top, in their lobbying efforts are in the top 105 companies who lobby Congress. It's like, What are they lobbying for? What is it that they need?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, it's just interesting stuff. I mean,
it's because they're an investment firm, so all the companies that they're investing in, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a huge,
without a doubt.
That's a huge double standard going on. I mean, and then they're influencing stocks with their purchases through these investments and whatnot. So there's another spin that's just totally corrupting everything. We got such a jacked up system. Let's see, what's Joe saying? We can't live free off the land without the government involved. Shaking my head. Well, true. Unfortunately, because we've given the government that much power, and that's part of our problem. We've lost the fact that our government is supposed to be governed by us, the people, but our government is not governed by us.
We've abdicated.
We've given our power up to corporations and lobbyists that control the Senate seats, really.
And too many people have said there ought to be a law, so they made a law. And that's the problem, is every time anyone doesn't feel safe, they go, well, there ought to be a law.
Dude,
so they make a law. But I do want to say really quick, like I was saying, the building code here in California, I'm really actually glad that they do make you build to withstand earthquakes, because we do have them. And, I don't... We had
that part doesn't bother me at all. It honestly doesn't. My big issue is that the reason why, my personal opinion, I guess I should say, as to why we don't have mandatory laws that state that you have to put solar on the top of your roof if you are building a home, is because of the fact that that you have, this whole lobbyist class that is, influencing,
for sure.
government officials, whether it's for access rights on power grids, or new power transmission lines, all that kind of stuff. There's a whole industry in and around that whole industry, I guess I should say. So
Now,
But I'm really surprised that like Tesla makes, and as much of a problem as I have with Elon Musk, Tesla makes these roof tiles that look like shingles that
Yeah.
are solar, and
And-
and the batteries for the storage.
yep.
And even if it's not mandatory in a way, why aren't builders just throwing it in? Because you're already paying, so much money for new housing. What's an extra 5-10 grand on top of that? Like, really, if that's the part of housing, part of paying for a house is this extra money, it should be a selling point.
Right.
Oh,
And
it
so
would be,
I
for
think,
sure.
I think that, but the contractors want to build as cheaply as possible and maximize their profits as much as possible. But yet your house, Chris,
Okay.
has all the T100 lines installed. Why would they do
Right.
that? I mean, it's just an added bonus of saying, oh yeah, your house is set up for
It's
the
wired.
future.
It's wired for fun. Is what
Yeah.
It's totally wired.
So why can't, why can't I have half my roof be these solar shingles with a couple of batteries that,
Yeah.
store my power for me over the off chance that we have these 24-hour storms that just dump rain and there's no sun. I mean, the power companies can still sell you natural gas. I need that to cook.
Well, yeah. What happened here? Hold on. I'm reading through some of these comments. There was something. Somebody said, okay. Somebody brought up Snowden. Where was that? I can't see it now.
That was a while earlier when we were talking about hero, anti-hero.
Yeah.
Directly.
I don't think Snowden's an anti-hero or a hero or a villain. I think there's some secrets the government should have.
And I'm the opposite. I don't think government should have any secrets from us. It's our government.
Yeah, but if you know it, then our enemies know it. Is the thing. I don't think we should have enemies. So.
Well, exactly. I mean, that part I understand. But again, who gets to decide what an enemy is or isn't, and who an enemy is or isn't, and what they are and aren't doing? I mean, you've got these people saying that, oh yeah, we've got domestic terrorists, so we need to keep all the fences up around the White House until further notice. But at the same time, we can't discuss like, hey, we've got evidence or we've got knowledge that there's somebody with a dirty bomb and they're trying to get it into some sort of city. So keep your eyes out. But they keep that all quiet until it happens. To me, it's not really right for them. I mean, that the secrets that they have, in some cases, are more beneficial to the government insiders than they are really in terms of what's going on. And what Snowden revealed, I don't know, man. I mean, the fact that we finally knew that we were all being spied on was pretty big deal. And the fact that the government got ticked off about it is not cool.
Right. But I mean, you'd have to be pretty naive to not think that to trust the government not to spy on you. Come on now. Like, we know they're spying on you. There's cameras everywhere.
Oh,
like,
good
no,
Lord,
it's not a matter. But again, it's not a matter of naivety, but it's a matter of abuse of access to that technology that allegedly is protected by the Constitution. I mean, the Fourth Amendment is unreasonable search and seizure.
Right.
We should not be subjected to that. And as much as I think that bad guys should be just out in the open and all exposed and everything like that. I also realize that people have a right, you know, they have a right to at least have a fair trial and everything like that. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, certainly we can't, solve all the questions that are going on here, but I don't know. I just think the abuse levels are just beyond the pale at this point.
Well, and I mean, it's not even the fact that there's a gray area anymore. I mean, it's a very clearly exposed. The thing is, I mean, for some reason, Snowden's getting all the credit for a lot of this, but I think there was a lot of other people that were exposed in a lot of this stuff way before him. Just nobody listened. They're like, "Oh, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist." Well, hello. Guess what? Not so much a conspiracy theory anymore. This is real, and it's I don't know. It's like, and that's the crazy thing too, because you go into these things where you're like, oh, these are old conspiracy theories, but wait, that just happened. That really just happened. It's okay. Just to give an example, and it's totally abstract in a way. It's like in Star Trek, way back in the 60s, they were talking about remote telecoms that were in your ear. Okay. And everybody's like, oh, that'll never happen. Little tricorders that you scan people with, and it gives you a temperature and what's wrong with them. All that is now. That I mean, and that was only 40 some odd years ago. 50, 40, 50, somewhere around there. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. And so it's the same example, is that all these crazy people from back in the 60s and stuff, all these things they were talking about, it's real. And so, Snowden, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking of scones because I'm hungry now.
Are you hungry?
I just want a snow cone, Mr. Snow Cone over there. And if he exposed so much and made such a big deal, he would not be alive. That's the thing. And yes, he's over in another country or whatever. Dude, governments can wipe out anybody at any time, anywhere, anyhow. I mean, we know this. I mean, look at Epstein, for God's sakes.
Right. Well, I mean, and also look at the drone program that we have.
Lord.
I mean, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The things that are just seem so implausible, so out of the, and that's why I loved that show, The Blacklist. And it's not like it's not on the air anymore. It's just it's in hiatus. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? Things on there, like a lot of people are going, oh, it's one of those shows that really makes you, think, and you're like, that could actually, I mean, this is very real to what's going on, and I think that in a weird, sick way, a lot of the naivety of America is being awoken through these almost subliminal ways of the TV shows and the movies and stuff, and the books and all this stuff that was considered crazy talk. Get off my lawn, you crazy hippies. Well, and where's the sign, Matt? Where is it? Show it. That's right. Hippies, use the back door. No exceptions.
No exceptions. No, and so, I mean, if I can kind of clarify something about what you're saying, Brian, and you're asking, well, who's to decide what is a secret and what's not? I mean, I think that there's a ton of stuff that the government really should be letting people know. If there are assassination attempts on government officials, I think we as Americans have a right to know that there were, like, I've heard that, there were assassination attempts against President Trump. Well, who knew? I put that out there if that's true. I mean, and if it's not, then it's just crackpot talk. But if it was true, like, I think we should know about assassination attempts. I think hiding the fact that there was a big computer breach over the summer, and yet it only trickled out over the last month or so about a big security breach. We should have known. We should have been told immediately, hey, look, we're under attack cybernetically, and and yeah, Josie, we are waking up, and hopefully we can figure out what's what. But the problem is there's so much misinformation and bullshit out there, and how many of the secrets that Snowden revealed, there's a fine balance between what we should know as citizens, because I do believe we do have the right to know what the hell our government's doing, versus what do our perceived enemies get to know about us. And I think the U.S. just does a lot of band-aiding. Like, we don't look far enough in the future about a lot of things. Our government just wants to go in with a big stick and smash, where instead of
Hulk smash
and then throw a Band-Aid on it, instead of go, well, let's look at the problem and see why do these people hate us? And maybe we're doing something wrong. But no, they go, oh, these people hate us, so we're going to just keep sending more and more troops at them because that'll shut them up.
Well, that or money or otherwise.
And then we throw money at them after we go, oh, we blew up everything, but here's some money to rebuild.
Right. And then we also arm them, with our bases and stuff like that. And then, all of a sudden they start causing their civil wars, and wow, where'd they get all these weapons? And hey, that looks like, that's
turns out someone's making money on the side, stealing shit off the base and selling it.
Well, or they're just being given it through other channels. And I mean, we all, I think, know how those little arms trades go and things like that.
Yeah, big time.
And I hate that our government treats us like children.
Well, yeah, because we've let them for so long, and that's part of the problem too.
Brian was, kind of saying that, I'm an adult. Tell me the scary stuff. I can handle it.
I want to know who's behind the curtain. I want the boogeyman. Well, I mean,
really, there's a lot of Brian brought up the Fourth Amendment. I think that the Bill of Rights is something that our government and most governments, maybe not consciously, would like to see whittled away, because
I think respecting
our rights makes governing more difficult when you got to take into account all the rights. I really bothers me when people want, what about my this right or that right? No, it's all the rights in the bill.
Right.
They're all equal. And they're all civil rights.
They all matter,
That's what keeps that's what keeps us free. I mean, real. I'm looking at your question down here, so I'm like, which journalist, news certainly not our local.
Okay, so which journalists, news organizations do you feel the best job of true investigative or does the best job of true investigative journalism? Paul is asking this, and honestly, the way news is nowadays, and even these, off internet based and all these, I think
None of them.
You really can't trust any of them. I mean, everybody's
No.
proven to be sided to how they want their opinions heard. I mean, which is just, it's okay. It reminds me of like being in a bar. Okay. And you get people sitting there talking, and everybody's around drinking and getting comfortable with their own points of view, and it's just one side or the other, and then the next thing you know, there's a bar fight. You're only, you have to listen to all sides, and then you have to make your own decisions. Everybody is going to have their own point of view, and because of the interweb, thank you, dear. Sorry. And tell Lyle to be quiet out there. All right. Anyway, it's so hard to, you have to judge every point of view, and the interweb and the TV and the cable. So many different viewpoints come at us now. You can't really trust anything. You have to weigh your own and make your own opinions. And I think a lot of people have finally realized that, yeah, we can't really just trust everything that's being thrown at us.
Yeah, very true. It's. I mean, I can go back. I mean, I look at numbers like, oh yeah, well, when did all this whole journalism problem start? I'm sorry, but people just don't even know history, because
we brought this up on the Tuesday show.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the reason we have the Pulitzer Prize is because Mr. Pulitzer was one of the worst smear yellow journalists of the era, on par with what's his name? Hearst. Yeah. And so as his atonement, he created the Pulitzer Prize. And early on, who won a Pulitzer Prize back in the 40s? Oh, the New York Times, for Walter Durani's reporting of Stalin, who was starving his people out purposely. And they were saying, oh yeah, it's just so sad that they're having all these famines and everything like that. And it took until the 80s before the New York Times issued an apology for publishing Walter Durani's work that he won a Pulitzer for. I mean, this is like so old school. Like, people don't even want to. It's like, oh well, this trusted news source. I'm like, there's nobody that you should trust.
No, absolutely not. No, and once you start, saying, oh well, this is the way it is because they say so, you've been brainwashed. I mean, that's really the only way to do it or say it at that point. And now, okay, Joe here is making a good point. If we as the people know the government is corrupt, what is it that's still keeping us separated? Good point. But you know what? My quick answer to this is, Joe, is we're starting to blend, and that's why you're starting to see so much reported separation, is because just to use the ant terminology or theory, an ant by itself is small and can be easily squished, but an army of ants together does massive, powerful things. And when we start coming together, our governments, and I'm not saying our government here, but our governments, worldwide governments, because really it's really kind of becoming that anyway, and there is higher up powers that are doing that. Okay, whole different story. But they see that. So they are pushing so hard to have the separation and the division and the white versus black, the Mexicans staying behind the wall, the Canadians staying up in their snow-ridden land, the Republican versus the Democrat. There used to be so many other, just a quick example also, There used to be so many different political parties. There was the Green Party, and I'm not saying that they're not out there, but they were more out there where people were more aware of them and more they were more present. Now you really do just get Republican, you get Democrat, you don't get really anything else. I know the libertarian thing has become real big, but that's been so pushed to the side because they don't want you to know about a gray area anymore or a melting pot. They want
Right.
to be one way. You're the left or you're the right, and that's it. You are black, you are white, you are yellow, you are red. I mean, it's they want that division. And when I say they, I mean, yes, the governments and the world governments.
Because the corporations are lobbying the Democrats and the Republicans both to create laws
Right. That protect them and their interests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because the one way to get rid of this craziness is to limit corporate donations. Like why does it cost millions of dollars to run a campaign?
Right.
And and the more money you have, the better chance you have of getting elected. And that's just crazy bullshit. And my brother's also libertarian like you, Brian. Now I got distracted. And what I wanted to actually answer his question about the news organizations is, I think what you need to do is look at more than one source.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Back before the internet, I would, on my lunch breaks, Chris knows this, I would buy an LA Times and a San Francisco Examiner or a Chronicle. That way you get to know what's really happening in California.
Because there are two different sides, really.
Two different sides of the coin, and you could look at it and go, oh, okay, well, this is this spin and this is this spin on the subject. And so I really think that I don't think you should trust any one source to tell you anything. You need
agreed.
To watch. I watch, when I do watch news, I watch NHK, which is a Japanese station that I get out of LA. I watch NBC, ABC. I don't watch CNN. I can't watch Fox because it's not actually a news corporation, despite what they want to believe. They actually want to be a news corporation. They should file as one and not an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But, read and watch multiple things.
Yeah.
I right now, I think the Atlantic, which has a left-leaning spin to it, is probably as neutral as they can be on a lot of things. But at the same time, you have to read and watch and make up your own mind. Because everybody has a spin, whether they want to say so or not.
Oh yeah, everybody does. First of all, I don't believe that you can create even a test to determine somebody's lack of bias, because I don't think you can. Even the test that you create is biased, so to speak.
No.
That's a great comment. Like, exactly. And I tried looking up, I had a window open here, like, the least biased in news reporting. And like you said, Brian, like, I'm relying on someone else's metric to tell me what's not biased.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is I'm not even sure that you could create a what are we going to call it? A scenario that would show that something's not biased, because you're biased hoping, I mean, somewhere in that person doing that bias checking is still biased towards their side. I mean, you can't walk in and go, oh, who's the most, you know, and I remember about a couple of weeks ago, some guy had posted saying that it was Reuters. Reuters was the least biased because they used the most facts and they used most this. And then I'm like, okay, well, I just want to fact check that fact, alleged fact. And it's like, okay, so Reuters had just recently gotten called out for using a doctored photo in one of their news things. And Reuters is like, they're like the agency that like they provide the news to all the other news sources, you know, and it's like, okay, so if the least biased one is putting out doctored photos for news stories, that means everybody else is using that, and then they overlay their own versions of bias and spin and everything like that. And so you get down third tier, and it's like, okay, those guys look way worse than Reuters did, but it's like, well, I'm sorry, but who put the first thing on? Who layered the first false fact or whatever you want to call it on? So that's where I just was like, oh gosh, you know,
Say
I
what
can't
it
even
is. It's a lie.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Doctored photo is a lie.
Yep,
Like, I mean, and yeah, and the AP is also supposedly up there. Oh, you can trust the AP, but I don't. Like I said,
I don't trust any of them. I mean,
yeah,
and
I mean, again, you have to kind of weigh in on all of them. You have to, and unfortunately, you have to listen to all of them to really try and figure out where, you know, their bits and truths of each one, you know, and which ones, and then sadly, we're having to fact checks. You know, it's like these idiot fact checkers that are on Facebook, and which, you know, ironically we're on, but you know, you sit there and somebody posts something, then all of a sudden it'll be pulled and it'll say, this has been checked by independent fact checkers. Really? Or did you just not like what they said, so you pulled it? I mean,
you had something about you know, child porn or whatever, and I was going to answer that to whoever had said, well, if they can do this and that, then why is child porn still out there? And because you don't know how the internet works,
right?
If the corporations can do this and that stuff's on the deep web. I mean, there's people. You use your, like, I use a cable company, gives me internet access. Right. But remember back in the day, you could put a phone on a little modem and dial a number to reach a server.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where all that bullshit, that's where all that is.
Yeah.
Well,
that's much harder to.
Well, I was just saying yes and no. So there's a story that I just became aware of earlier or late last night. Is there's a young man who was sex trafficked as a child, and the teaser abuse videos of him have been viewed, watched, and shared on Twitter over 300,000 times, and he's suing Twitter, saying, "You never took this off. This was on your thing. These are paid advertisements to gain access to the abuse that I endured and everything like that." And so there's a lady who's sort of the head of a kind of an abuse advocacy group who's saying, yeah, answer to us. And the head of Twitter will not answer that question, but Ron Paul got banned on Twitter, but the people who are putting out ads for clearly child porn and abuse are not, even though all that stuff's still available. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's hard to really I don't know. I explain away as just being, you know, deep web versus not deep web, and I guess that's kind of my thought on that as you said that, because I'm like, you know, really?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about that, and
again, last night,
and Twitter's just going to say, well, we're just showing you that it's out there and you should really be aware of it.
Well, no, these are paid ads for access. They're not. It's not.
Really?
It's not news. It was literally. So I'll find the story and I'll send it to you guys, because it was like, I mean, it was like disturbing that I was like, is this for real? You know, and I checked into it, and you know, then it got kind of late. But you know, you brought it up and it just triggered the thought, hey, I just experienced this. Hey, you know.
No, and I didn't know about that. I don't really
No,
delve much into Twitter, and I try not to delve too much into Facebook. And I honestly, I think they're all complicit in a lot of nefarious activities, whether they're actually doing it or not, but they're not curbing it. And
right, exactly.
And like Craigslist, I think is probably the only one that did anything about it.
Right.
Well, they tried to. I mean, there's still, I'm sure there's ways around it, but yeah.
I don't know. And I just pulled up a little song that is very fitting for what's going on right what we're talking about. Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. Just giving them a little plug because it's a great song. And if you actually listen to the words, all this stuff that these guys were talking about back in the 70s, it's going on right now, which I found totally crazy. Somebody proved that in a post. And I was like, oh my God. I was reading. Oh, it was Paul. And he posted all the words to this song. And I was like, holy crap, they're talking about right now. But this was back in the 70s. So
but it all goes around and around.
Right. And it's just far more evident
what
now.
Comes around, goes around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm just talking about music. Sorry, that was bad. That was rap.
Goes around. What comes around?
Now I was thinking
round and round.
I was thinking rat. I wasn't like any. I'm sorry. I was.
Beastie
Boys, Paul's Boutique.
No, and you're right. And I just listened to Paul's Boutique last night. Of all strange things.
Great album.
Oh.
It was a premonition.
And to Mr. Josie, we have a television in our bedroom that anytime it does an update, I have to check to make sure its microphone is off.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Because you can do voice commands with it. How exciting is that? No, that's not exciting at all.
Yeah.
Stop listening to me snore, TV. And any weird thing I say in my sleep, because I fall asleep to the TV. But yeah, you have to go in and make sure.
Yeah.
Microphone off. I didn't want to do this this live Facebook Live thing on my laptop.
Nope.
But yet I did. Here I am. I was trying to use the netbook, but the netbook doesn't have enough memory.
Oh.
So my wife yesterday got this kind of like a joke thing that it was basically a guy calling in wanting to order a pizza, and he's like, they're like, hey, this is Google such and such pizza, and the guy's like, what? Hangs up, dials the number again, and it kind of goes through this whole scenario where the guy's like, well, I think that you ought to probably order the such and such veg. No, I hate veggies, man. And he goes, yeah, well, your cholesterol level says otherwise. Like, my cholesterol level. Well, using our connection to such and such, we found out that, you should be on statin drugs. He's like, well, I use my statin drugs. Like, no, you don't. You've only used, 30, you've only bought one prescription of it. And he's like, well, I bought the other with cash. Oh, well, you're not using a lot of cash. Oh, is that on an unsorted? It was
according to the IRS. Like, you shouldn't be able to afford that in cash.
Oh my God!
It was just
like we won one year at one of my wife's work parties. We won a little Alexa unit thing.
Yeah,
gave it away.
Yeah, if one that like a whole system was gifted to me, I'd be like, thank you, gonna give that to another raffle here.
I love those memes where they have the ladies like, ooh, I better not, like from back in the 50s, I better not say that, they may have a wiretap on me, and then they're like, hey, wiretap, can you give me a fresh recipe for such and such?
Like, sure. Well, and when we bought a new TV refrigerator a couple of years ago, you can hook your refrigerator up to the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and control.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, I'm good. Yeah, it is. It's really. I mean,
I know when I'm low on milk.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of which, I need to buy some.
I know when you're low on milk too.
Oh.
According-
This is getting kind of erotically creepy, man. I'm not sure where you're going
Oh
with that.
Lord.
yeah,
It kind of reminds me of the old guy in Family Guy. I know you're low on milk. Bring those big old mushrooms right on over. What's I'm sorry.
so somehow we just did a swerve that we were not expecting.
Wow, this is I love this show.
Yeah, this
Paul, I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't know how your VPN is today.
What? Oh, virtual private network. Paul's a little exclusive there. What, are you running porn on the side there, Paul? What's going down? When I yell about bills, I don't see advertising on companies that pay them.
I know, right?
Oh, that's awesome, Joe. I'm
But
sorry.
do you have your Alexa plugged in?
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
Alexa
Joe,
know that you don't want to pay your bills? Your bills are too damn high.
right? For the people who are just listening, and Joe here commented, but when I yell about bills, I don't see advertising on companies that pays them on my phone. So yeah, absolutely, man. Which yeah, that would be kind of a bonus if all of a sudden, hey, you wake up and your bill's paid. Yeah, we decided we're going to help you.
Instead, you see advertising for payday loans.
Oh,
yeah.
No, the payday loans.
See,
At
there
only
you go.
1,000% interest, we'll give you $100 today.
Hey, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
You have 24 hours to pay, otherwise we come take a leg.
those words. Oh man, that was.
Man,
I
when I
actually
worked-
did that.
yeah. When I worked at Wells Fargo as a business banker, I actually had a customer that was a payday loan company. And oh my gosh, dude, just going and visiting the client was just freaky as all get out. You know, I mean,
Talk
They-
about
they would-
predatory, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just evil. It really is. There's really no two ways about it.
Right, and that's such the. That's just the saddest part because they just don't care. Oh, they act like they care, and they have commercials saying that they care, and it's like all the credit card companies. Oh no, you really need to have this credit card. You need no, I don't. And the only reason I have one is so I can help manipulate my credit rating. That's the only reason I have a credit card.
Like I think we have two. We have one from our credit union, which is an insanely great interest rate. And every
Right.
time I get an ad or in the mail, like, oh, like look at this low rate, and you go, that ain't nothing. And Costco,
Excuse me.
our Costco credit card,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's
yeah.
it. Because it
And it's
actually
like
does save me money on stuff I do buy.
I love the fact the way that all these big major businesses and stuff all downplay credit unions, but credit unions are actually the true version of a banking now, I think, because they are not really corporately owned. They're more
They're like a co-op.
it's all of us pulling our money together to work together for each other, and if there was one where I felt safe enough being a part of, I'd probably switch it over. But I'm with a really good small bank, and it's a local small bank, and I'm totally all for it. So I use that, and I feel good about that because it is just small, local, awesome little bank. I mean, it's one of those ones where you walk in, they're like, "Oh, hey, Chris," it's like, "Wow, you remembered my name, and I don't."
And they do reinvest in your community.
Cheers the bank. It's like cheers
what?
the bank.
Cheers the bank.
Yeah,
Everybody knows your name.
Chris!
yeah. How's the world treating you today, Mr. Madsen? Kind of like a baby treats a diaper. So, set them up, Woody.
Why don't you give me a stack of 20s and I'll tell you.
Yeah, right. Interesting me enough, there. I can't. I've lost my Cliff Clavin impersonation. It just ends up sounding like Homer Simpson. So I can sound like Barney a little bit too.
It sounds like Pete Puma.
Barney does sound like Pete Puma. Hi. I like coffee. Yeah. And then let's see. Here's Barney. Hey, Homer. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Hey, Homer, how about some coffee? No. I'll let it go. I'll let it go at that. I'm sorry. That was I just need to shut up. Yeah, because I'm a little insane in the membrane, you know what I'm saying?
I just shut down my business account.
You all enjoying being good bank slaves. Yes, well, we are bitches to the industry, so I mean, yeah. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm a dirty little whore for money. That's what I'm going to do. But I don't know.
Kind of hard to get away from that, you know.
Kind of advertising is going to pop up now.
I think the coffee's kicking in is what I'm thinking. So, corporations, evil, or anti-heroes? How do you want to list them? Evil villains or anti-heroes?
I think that corporations should not be individuals.
Ooh,
okay.
I think that they're board members.
All right, Jack Handy. Now, and Matt, we kind of alluded to this the other day in our own chat before the show. Do we consider our government anti-hero or villain?
Villain.
I would have to probably say they're probably pretty well into the villain camp.
Yeah.
Because they're out for themselves. And like I said earlier, the Bill of Rights is something that gets in their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oh.
Well, we had presidential people who said that the Constitution got in their way. So
yeah,
it's.
Oh, I'm trying to remember a quote from that one guy that did that one thing. Oh God,
we're so close. A couple more clues and we'll get there.
He was a guy, you know, the guy that has the guy that the guy with the magic murder bags based on in the Venture Brothers.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. No, it doesn't matter, but it's a quote about basically how the unconstitutional you do slowly and the illegal you do right now.
Ooh.
It might be the other way around. I don't remember.
That sounds pretty honest that way right there.
Yeah. I almost had it. Kissinger. I believe it's a Kissinger quote.
Oh my gosh!
And now I'm going to have to open up a new window
and look it up.
Try to find.
Well, while you look for the source of your quote,
okay,
we are. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to be here for about another day and a half. We keep going, and I think we should just
fade out.
No, damn it! The music didn't cue up right. There it is. Here it comes. That's right. We're going to be doing the Humpty Dance on the way out because I think we've stretched our point and we basically gone from comic superheroes to explaining how evil our government is, and anti-hero is a good description for God. There's so many people that I think are anti-heroes in this day and age, and they're getting written off as villains. And then the real villains are the ones that are writing them off as villains. And that is becoming what our government is, unfortunately. And
oh yeah, they're professional gaslighters.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much.
Matt just pulled it up. The illegal we do immediately. The unconstitutional takes a little longer. And yeah, pretty prophetic,
That's
right
why
there.
they erode our rights.
And now, see, Kissinger was back in the 70s. See, back in the 70s, they were pulling this stuff out and going, "Hey, here it is." And everyone went, "Oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Get back here in your little room." And then now it's 2021, and guess what?
It's going down hardcore.
Created. Yeah. So they're dropping the mic on us, and they're going, boom. There you go. Suck it. We're in control. You guys just bought into everything. And honestly, I don't see any way of getting it back. Now we just got to find a way to make it livable.
I can bring us back on topic, though. How's this? 2021 is when Mad Max, the first movie, starts. Ooh. And Mad Max is an anti-hero.
He is an Oh, that's a perfect example of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Ooh, so. and a good one too, dude, because he's
Just to bring us back on topic. And
thank you, because I was sitting here, I'm trying to figure out a great way to do that, and man, that was perfect. So kudo points to Matt. You can go have a cookie now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have two.
All right. And so
a cookie.
That being said, well, Brian,
go get one.
It's your turn to get a cookie now.
Okay, thanks.
Where's your minions? Make your minions go get you a cookie.
We don't.
Well, I needed the permission because at some point in time, my wife would be like, "Why are you eating a cookie? You're fat." I'd be like, "Hey, they said I could."
And you can always say, "Well, I'm not as fat as Matt."
Oh man!
Damn. So what you want is I want
do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah, right. And we're back on point again. So anti-hero's good, villain's bad, and unless you're evil, then it's it's all groovy. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep bringing Dr. Evil into it. I'm sorry. All right, so we're at a point where I think we've made our point, and I want to know
whatever that may have been.
Right.
This is a long one today. Look at us.
Yeah, I know.
Hour and a half.
That's what I was saying. We can go for another day and a half. I promise you. And I mean, I got the coffee supply, so I'm just.
I actually have stuff to do, but oddly enough, I do have plans.
Wow, I know. I don't, but I can make some. But
if it makes you feel better.
What we want is little peace, love, and understanding, which hooks us back into Tuesday's show or Thursday, a week ago. Never mind. All right, I'm dating myself, and so as I slowly lose my mind, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining in today. Excellent conversations, gentlemen, and who knows? We'll probably be continuing Tuesday because somehow we keep pulling these topics back into each other, but we'll have fresh new stuff to be incorporating into it as well. That is why it is the Random Kristian Show. I want to thank again Chicken Poop. That's right, free range chicken poop lip balm. Oh, I keep moving off the camera there. Because I really like this stuff, and it's not like I'm addicted to it or anything, but it does amazing. It really does good job on my lips from being out in the weather all day. And anyway, so I want to thank Matt. Thank you so much for joining in. Maddie's photos on Instagram. Brian, thank you so much, sir. Glad to have you back in here. And as you can see, technologically, we're sound, man. We're sound as a
Yeah,
pound.
this is definitely a great upgrade from where it's been.
Oh yeah, dude. No, this is awesome. I just got to find a way to pay for it now.
Well, hopefully we'll get more and more people watching, rewatching, and
Yes. Spread the word.
and
Tell your friends.
maybe YouTube and Facebook will pay for this.
Right.
Oh, it's incredible content.
Yeah, I mean, can't get this
rambling
anywhere
on.
else.
Also, Brian, you weren't here Tuesday. We're now in Russia. Okay. So Russia, Albania. You know what? I'm pulling up the list right now because I want to thank everyone that's been listening. Also, Los Gatos Auto Service. Ha! I got it right that time. I want to thank you for subscribing. Everybody else subscribe and listen and join in the fun. We can chat all day long as I keep the screen refreshed, which we found out, oddly enough, I didn't do, and it made things very awkward. So where are we being heard? Okay. United States, obviously number one, because that's our obvious core audience, but, Ireland, number two, but we're number one in Ireland. New Zealand, Russia, Germany, Jamaica, Albania. Huge fans of this damn show, and we love you all for it. Thank you so much for joining us. And we've actually increased our female listening audience. Still a large male audience, but hey, chicks are digging us, baby. That's what I'm saying. Boom. So I want to thank everybody and thank you all. Brian, you are USA Combi or Combi USA. Damn it.
USA Combi Connection on Facebook and Combi-USA on Instagram. I don't, do you want me to really look it up? Because I'll do it real quick. I always forget because it's auto logged in and I just,
I know. That's why Matt
USA,
keeps showing his business card.
right. USA
Yeah, I don't remember
Combi
mine.
VW. USA _Combi _VW.
There it is. Yes. Check him out if you need VW parts or Volkswagens. What I saw you talking to one of your chats about because of the skyrocketing price of the 68s and less.
Yes.
The prices on those and people, yeah, and you're right. The cost of those, and they're just crap, are 5,000 and up. I saw one without an engine, rotten floorboards, the pans and everything, and they wanted $6,500 for it.
Yeah.
I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And then you showed a perfectly good, what was it? 66?
65.
65.
65 or 66.
Yeah. Perfectly good 65 running that you imported in and can keep importing in. And for, what would you say, $5,000?
Yeah. Fully imported, $5,000.
Boom.
And running, driving.
The buses?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Buses, bugs.
No, well, the 5,000 was for a bug. A bus is going to be probably closer to about, depending on what you get done to it, probably around 19,000.
Wow.
That's
insane.
wow.
Do you ever?
Well, it
find
is
any
insane, but I mean,
fastbacks
you
bareback?
can't even touch a German-built 60 split window bus in ratty condition for probably under 17.
Oh, you're
right
yeah,
now.
you're
I
talking,
Running
believe
and
it,
driving,
I
you'll
believe
be
it.
in the 30s easily.
yeah, you're not talking the bay windows. You're talking the splits and earlier.
Right.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Well, then that's a hell of a price.
Well, if you want a bay window, we can go way cheaper.
Yeah. Well, and so there you go. Volkswagen needs hit it. All right. USA Combi VW. Also, I'm at KJ Voice Works if anybody needs any professional voice work done. Hey,
Or unprofessional.
more unprofessional than professional.
Either way.
I also want to make sure that if you guys got anything you need to talk with, when we're off the air, we've got the email, therandomkristianshow@gmail.com. kick it in. Send it to us. Let us know what you think. If you got ideas for the show, I'd love to hear them. Let's bring it on, and we'll have a little Thunder Kiss 65 going out since we're hitting those years on the bugs. And all right, I think that's it. I think I just need to shut up at this point. So I want to say thank you again to my co-hosts here, Matt and Brian. Hopefully you guys can be here Tuesday. Would love to hear from you. Have you on again. Brian, what do you think?
Sounds great. I love it.
All right. We will bring you we'll bring you back up then. So Brian, I'll say thank you to you, sir, and we'll check you out. And Maddie, I want to say thank you to you, sir. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
And all the pre-work help. You're awesome, brother. We will talk to you Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining in. And to everybody else out there, again, like I said, like us, subscribe, send us an email. Let us know what you think. Let us know what's going on. Join in the chats every Tuesday and Thursday, 2:30. That's Central Time, 2:30 Central Time in the old USOA. That's where we do it. All right? So come on in. Have fun. In the meantime, God bless you. Be good to each other. We're all we've got. So we got to help each other out. All right? Peace out, guys. Enjoy. Love you. See ya.